If you want to find out the price of a private company stock, where do you go? Voice brokering, which is, just getting on the phone, talking to people, sending them emails, was super decentralized. You had to rely on the information that the broker was giving you without having any kind of validation for what they were saying about price. There's no central place to trade the stock. I felt that it was kind of an inevitability to centralize the way that shareholders of private companies get liquidity from investors. I needed somebody who could take a lot of my ideas and help lay the foundations for the organization that we wanted to build.
The first question I had for Sim, are you even allowed to do this? Right? That's a threshold question that most startups don't need to ask. But when you are working in a very highly regulated space, that's the starting point.
I turned to her and I said, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but would you like to do this with me?
Sim is my husband. We've built a lot of things together, Hiive being our most ambitious. I set out to figure out, can you build a marketplace for private stock? And what do we need to build in order to be allowed to do that?
I would feed her sort of ideas and thoughts and the vision around it, and she would start piecing it all together.
We spent probably 8 to 12 months putting all of the pieces in place.
The next thing we needed was to build the product that we envisioned. We don't come from the software industry, we're entrepreneurs.
We needed someone who really understood how to take Sim's vision and turn it into product.
Eventually, I was connected with Stu.
I arranged a 30-minute phone call with Sim, and we talked for 3 hours straight. Here was something that had so far seemed to be untouched by technology solution where all of the information and data was available to buyers and sellers. And I immediately saw something that could be revolutionized with software. It was crystal clear from the beginning. I knew exactly what to build and no mistakes were made, and it was the perfect product.
All right.
You couldn't just build it and they will come. You had to recognize that this was fundamentally a service performed by human beings. And so it was going to be a real critical element to find a real unique leader in capital markets services. There was no doubt in my mind who that was.
I felt very excited when Sim brought this idea to me. I think he was even surprised at how quickly I responded to him.
He's a 100x salesman. Every kind of successful startup I've ever worked for has people that have that ability to get things done.
The first 3 months were very exciting. We were having our first demo calls and we were talking to these institutional investors. They were blown away with what we had built. Hiive is very quickly going to become the place to go to buy or sell stock in pre-IPO companies.
Something big is happening here. Everybody is very excited. Everybody is really ambitious.
All of the founders of Hiive bring very unique strengths.
I've always found that the most successful businesses I've worked with, they had founders who really, really understood a market deeply, had a vision for how it could be different.
Hiive is redefining the private market. We believe that liquidity for the private market and for startups will fuel the next generation of innovation.